Hi, and welcome to Allot On Air. During the next 10 minutes, we'll be meeting with industry experts to discuss the hottest trends in telecom, cybersecurity, and network intelligence. Hi, I'm Seth Greenberg, Director of Corporate Communications for Allot, and today I'm pleased to welcome Moti Goldshtein, AVP of Allot Smart line of solutions, to the Allot On Air podcast. Moti, it's good to see you today.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Very
Very excited to be here.
Oh, well, I'm glad to hear that. So why don't we quickly start off? Give me a little bit of background about, I know what your title is, but what does that mean exactly? What do you do here?
Yeah, I'm managing the entire product line of Allot Smart, which is, our traffic management and QE management and visibility and control. And I've joined Allot just 3 months ago. And
Yeah, things are growing here quickly.
Yeah, very quickly.
That's great. All right. And all right, why don't we jump right into it? How's that?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions here. We like this 5 questions in 10-minute format. Let's see if we can stick to it. So in your perspective, the way you see it, what's creating this market excitement around 5G? I mean, it's new, obviously, but
Yep.
why are people so excited about it? What's the big difference?
I think we need to look at it in two perspectives. The first one is what, the end users, the consumers are looking at. And from a consumer perspective, there's a huge promise, to go to 4K and even 8K videos getting into your handset and augmented reality and virtual reality. And maybe one of the most promising one is the autonomous cars and connected cars in general. But this is from, the end user's perspective. I think for the service provider's perspective, there's a bit of a different view there, because at the end of the day, they need to make all this magic happen, and they need to invest heavily, infrastructure and sales and radio and everything. And they need to also see from the business perspective what can bring new business and grow their business, not only to provide more speed, more data, lower latencies, and so on. How can they add more revenues into their and profits into there? So they are looking at technologies like network slicing that enables them to do differential service over the network, IoT, vehicular, and so on. So it's a different type of looking at the same market.
Okay, so it's not just we're not just talking about radio. We're not just talking about 4G. It's just it's not just faster. It's providing more.
Yeah, correct. I think that in general, the major promise that the 5G holds, besides the new radio and speeds and latencies, is the service-based architecture. When it comes, really hand in hand with the latest development in computer technologies like cloud-native infrastructure, this is a huge opportunities for the MNOs, because then they can provide more services, they can bring them to the market faster while reducing their CapEx investments by reusing resources in the network and so on, but also reducing their OpEx investment, as they can automate many of the currently processes that they need to do either manually or semi-manually. So this brings, new business opportunities on one hand and reduces costs on the other end. So this is the kind of things we link to. This is what technology is all about, right? Doing more with less.
So with that in mind, what use cases does Allot see as the most promising for 5G?
I think in general, the initial deployments we see in 5G will start, focusing on the new radio, like a non-standalone mode, and basically promising higher throughput, more gigabit to the handset. And also we see using 5G as fixed wireless access, kind of replacing fiber to the home or competing with fiber to the home. These are the initial deployments we see, but we see more directions coming in to the market with industrial IoT, vehicular, and we see also a lot of use cases around security and protecting the network, because 5G has its infrastructure enables more flexible and more distributed network, but this brings on more threats into the network, which needs to be mitigated. So we have all of this coming together, both from the perspective, but also from the security perspective.
Right, so security is definitely one of the issues that's coming up for 5G. I understand that. What else is what nothing is peaches and cream. It's not all perfect. Obviously, it's these wonderful things, and there's all these promises, and the ads that people are seeing, commercials people are seeing on TV. 5G is coming, and it's here, and there's going to be some downside, obviously.
Yeah, for sure. I think in general, look, the 5G brings a whole new architecture. We talked about the service-based architecture and the implication of that, but the topology of the network is also different. The 5G inherently enables more distributed network in that sense, that you have multi-access edge computing into the network. We see some very interesting movement, maybe another podcast on what's going on in the Mac. But this opens up the network and increases the threats plane, in the sense that there are more inputs and outputs into the network. And when the network is constructed this way, so the attack surface becoming bigger. When the attack surface is bigger, you need to protect more. So security kicks in very significantly in that item. Just think in mind, 5G, and we mentioned IoT and industrial IoT is focusing on one of the focuses in putting millions of devices connected to the network.
Yeah.
And think about all those sensors you have at home. When was the last time you upgraded the firmware of this sensor?
You're trying to embarrass me.
No, it's human. We usually don't. In our mobile, we do it constantly, but those devices usually are less protected. And we've seen some of this huge attack, coordinated attack from all of these devices. Each one of them is doing very little bandwidth, but combining all of them together has a significant impact on the network. So now you need to think about that. It was not very, let's say, popular in 3G and nor in 4G. So now you need to think about that. Just think about the use case of autonomous cars that need to be very fast connecting with each other. You don't want to allow anyone to jeopardize that or to get into the system. So there are layers of protections that need to be into the network, either mitigating DDoS attacks from a lot of IoT devices, or you want to protect your network, to have your network secured in that sense. You want to protect from outbound and inbound attacks. So the attack surface becoming bigger, and the CSPs keep this in mind, and not only just to keep the network safe, but also to maintain the quality of experience of the network. Because if a huge attack is swirling through your network, it means that it hogs a lot of the resources that are intended for traffic and for useful traffic. So you want to mitigate that. You want to mitigate that fast and accurately, and even under attack, to be able to maintain good quality of experience while doing so. So it's a very complicated thing to do. And again, this is why we like technology, to help us do all those complicated things faster and quicker.
Well, you brought it up. What can people do about, what can CSPs do about all these, the attack, the threat landscape increasing, and all the challenges that you brought up now? Obviously there's going to be something they can do about it. The question is what?
Yeah, of course. I think you need to look at it at different layers. So first of all, I'll start with the end of what I was talking about, maintaining the quality of experience in the network. In order to do it in the right way, you need to be able to differentiate between different applications, because looking at video is a totally different thing than just looking at browsing, and signaling of the network has different priority and different the application as itself behaves differently. And so you need to be able to identify the application in the right way. You need to be able to allocate the right policies over the different application to different types of event. And on the other end, you need to be able to embed the application awareness with the protection that you have in the network. And in many cases, if you look at the traffic nowadays, most of the traffic is becoming more and more encrypted in different ways. Again, maybe worth another podcast for that. But in that case, if you want to be application aware and the application is encrypted, then machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithm, they kick in very significantly here, because those help you to identify the application correctly. And I was very much amazed, and I'm still amazed with the amount of technology that we have here in Allot, in the sense that how we are able to identify different types of application in good accuracy, because it's also a big challenge to do so.
Can you give a quick, just a very quick, I know the technology is deep, but a quick idea of how that works? I mean, using it's just, to me, that's incredible.
Well, at the baseline of the technology, let's think about an algorithm that is being trained to identify a certain pattern in the traffic. So if it is a video that it needs to go through a certain bit rate, and then it goes, there's a way that those packets are being sent in the network. So there's a burst like this, and then traffic goes up and then down, and there's some correlation between them. So first you need to be able to look at the traffic, okay? Kind of a DPI, classic DPI, in the sense to differentiate the different streams, and then to look at the stream and the behavior. And if you are able to train yourself well, and you have a good machine learning algorithm, then the artificial intelligence can identify and say, look, in high probability, I think this is YouTube. It's always a matter of probability when you go to this. It's not a certain thing. But if you combine and you have a good way, and this is, the secret sauce that you put in, then you can say, I can identify those applications in high probability. And then you can do something about it, because it's not only about, having a good visibility over your network. You need to have control. You need to have some actions you can do in it. So this one I want to limit the rate. This one I want to block. The other one I want to if it's an attack, maybe I want to mitigate, to steer it to some other place, and so on. And then if you have all of this and combine them into your network, then the overall proposal and the overall quality of your network increases.
That's impressive stuff. I like the secret sauce. I wish I personally understood it a bit better, but I guess it's better because I have a big mouth. I'd probably tell everybody about it. So I think we're probably running short on time. So let me just quickly, if you could give me an idea of what's coming down the pipe. What's without giving away any secrets here, but what is Allot? What do you see as the future of technology for 5G? What's circling around it?
Okay, since we are really focused here on the 5G, I will maintain my focus here. So when you come to 5G, there are some baseline that you need to have in order not just play the game. So all those networks, as we talked about, they are working in a cloud native environment. So the first thing you need to be able to do is to take your assets, your technology, and to be able to run it over cloud native virtualized environment. So fortunately enough, we are pretty much familiar with the virtualization. We had the SGVE platform, so we will adapt it to a cloud native environment, and we'll have it running in those. We are working as we speak with our customers, working hand in hand to make this happen in the field, to demo it and to have it deployed in the networks. In general, the platform has to be carrier grade, and there's a lot of things to do in that. I will not get into that, but obviously that is clear.
I apologize for that. Everybody seems to be growing. We've got some construction going on behind us. So.
Just make it more interesting. And at the end of the day, at the heart of it, as we talked about security becoming a very important issue, so you need to have a very solid and robust user plane protection for the 5G. So we will bring the best of breed protection to the network to enable our customers to have a more secure network and to maintain their quality of experience over the network and to be able to provide all the different services they want to provide to their customers. Because we're in the business to make their business better, because in this way it's a win-win-win situation.
All right. We're going to have to stop, but I think we've probably got at least 3 more podcasts with you, Moti, so we're going to definitely want to welcome you back. But for now, I just want to thank you. We were talking here with Moti Goldshtein, it's the AVP for Allot Smart Products, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much, Seth.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening. You can get more information about network intelligence and security solutions for service providers and enterprises on our website at allot.com. Subscribe to this podcast to make sure you hear about new trends and technologies on the next episode of Allot on Air.